Hello. In this video, I'm going to show you how to use Microsoft Excel's future value function and the goal seek feature to be able to compute retirement savings. So let's assume in this case that you are thinking about setting up a savings on maybe an IRA account for retirement. Now, what I'm using here is I'm using the future value function. Now, just to give us an example here, let's assume that you're like me, you're going to be retiring in about a year, and you can afford about $100 a month. So I'm going to put in $100 a month, and my number of years is only 1 year. Well, lo and behold, after 1 year of making $100 a month payments at an annual return, which is relatively conservative, but I don't want to lose any principal at this point, so 5.5% is what I'm going to expect. I can have a total of a whole total of $1,230.72. Well, that's not very realistic at all, and hopefully you start saving a lot sooner than I am. But let's go ahead and first look at the function that we're using to compute the future value. So I'm using the FV function, future value, and the parameters that I need, or the arguments that I need, are first the rate. Now the rate is, in this case, an annual rate of 5.5%. Now, because I'm making monthly payments, I'm dividing the annual interest rate by 12. So my argument here is B5 divided by 12. I separate the arguments with a comma, and if I use the insert function dialog box, Excel will put the commas in for me, but I've just typed this formula in manually. So the next thing is the NPER, or the number of periods. Well, the number of periods is the number of years that I'm investing, but I'm again want this in terms of months, so I'm going to multiply that by 12. So I have 1 year times 12. I'm making 12 payments of $100. And finally, we have the payment. The payment is B4, or $100. Well, let's put in something a little bit more realistic here. Let's assume that you're starting out much earlier than me, and so you're putting in $100 a month, and you're going to be retiring in 20 years. Well, that's still not very much, but it's a whole lot more than $1,200 here. But let's assume, in this case, that you have a goal in mind. You want, after 20 years, to have $500,000. Again, a very conservative interest rate, because if you put it in the market, you'll probably do better than that. But we, again, don't want to risk losing any principal, so we're going to settle on that particular interest rate. So now I'm going to use the goal seek feature then to determine how much I need to put in every month so that I can earn, or have at the end, 500,000. So I'm just going to go ahead and delete this. I still have the functions, and I want the goal seek to put in the amount here that will give me in cell B7 500,000. So my goal is 500,000. All right, so let's go ahead now and go to the data tab. So data tab, I go to what if analysis, and I will use goal seek. So in this case it says, okay, set cell, this cell, which is in this case is B7, I want that to be 500,000. That's my goal. Now what I want Excel to adjust is the amount that I put in, or B4. So again, I'm saying here with the goal seek, set cell B7 to 500,000. And again, one of the drawbacks using the goal seek is that you do have to type that value in. It would be nice if I could just simply refer to cell B9, but it does not allow me to do that. All right, so set cell B7 to 500,000 by changing B4, which is the amount I'm going to invest every month. Now, one of the things just to be aware of here, the future value function assumes that the amount that you're investing, your periodic payments, do not change. And so once I've set up $100 a month or $200 a month, or the value that we're going to get now, it's not going to change for that whole 20-year period. Well, let's go ahead and see what we get. We'll go ahead and click OK here, and Excel is adjusting and adjusting. Well, it tells me how much I have to invest. So instead of $100 a month, I'm going to go ahead and click OK here to accept that. I need to invest $1,147.77. Now, if the interest rate were to change, of course, if we had a 6% interest, I'm going to end up with a lot more. But in this case, with the parameters that I set up using the goal seek, we can see that it allows me to know exactly how much to put in to reach my goal. So there you have it. That's the goal seek feature. As I mentioned, you can find a lot more information and step-by-step instructions on my website, lutherdadmatty.com. If you like this video, please like it. Maybe consider subscribing as well. Okay, thank you very much. We'll see you in the next video.